Hey guys, Comic Boom here. Let's talk Future State Week 2. Was it any good? Let's check it out, shall we?
Whoa, whoa,
Gentlemen, gentle ladies, good lord. Future State Week number 2. I gotta tell you, overall, guys, I am generally less depressed with DC. I'm actually enjoying Future State. Don't get me wrong, there's a couple of real stinkers in the batch, but for the most part, most of the issues I'm enjoying. I'm actually kind of understanding more or less what's going on. I get it in a general sense. There's one notable exception to that. What the hell's going on in Teen Titans? I got no idea. But it is what it is. But I wanted to talk about I wanted to just talk about some of the things that I am enjoying about Future State, particularly week 2 here. And in particular, probably my favorite, and I've got them all listed here: Wonder Woman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Robin Eternal, Dark Detective, Kara-Zor-el Superwoman, Green Lantern, and Teen Titans, all Future State. And I want to, my favorite one overall, I have to say, was the Green Lantern one because of Jessica Cruz. And that is the one we're going to talk about first. Now, this is, first of all, jumping right into Green Lantern. The big mistake here with Green Lantern was by editorial because Jessica Cruz should be on the title. I'm not even going to talk about the John Stewart story or the Guy Gardner stories because, frankly, they were very average in the comic book. By far, the most important one and the most significant one is the one with Jessica Cruz because it's so well done, and it basically focuses on Jessica Cruz. She's basically she's 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 trapped on a Green Lantern space station or spaceport of some kind. And she's been there for about 12 months to 13 months, for about a year. We're not really sure why Jessica Cruz is there, but we know that her Green Lantern ring is no longer working. In fact, a lot of the Green Lantern rings virtually across the galaxy stopped working. That's sort of the premise. That's one of the things all three of these stories, the John Stewart story, the Jessica Cruz story, and the Guy Gardner story, all have that in common, and their Green Lantern rings stopped working. Now, Jessica Cruz, what makes the story so well is that if you're a fan of Jessica Cruz and you followed her from her first introduction in the DC universe was in Darkseid War, where she basically gained the weapon of the power ring from the Green Lantern of Earth 3. And the power ring is only attracted to people that have high anxiety and very low self-esteem and are kind of pathetic and fearful of everything. And that's what Jessica Cruz was. She was a very fearful, cowardly woman who was basically ultimately ended up that way through a whole batch of negative life experience. And Jessica Cruz's character arc, going from having a power ring that focuses on low self-esteem and her always being fearful, to having willpower by becoming a member of the Green Lantern Corps. Then at the end of this story, she actually becomes a member of the the Sinestro Corps, because she has the ability to overcome great fear. Jessica Cruz has been in an extraordinary character arc through the pages of Justice League Odyssey, where she was essentially killed by Darkseid. He stepped on the Green Lantern ring. She was infused with Omega energies. She basically helped save the multiverse in her own right in the pages of Justice League Odyssey. She has overcome fear. She's fought Darkseid. She's done so much, and it's not surprising, and it's so epic that at the end of this, she ends up ultimately becoming and defeating Lisa here, of the sort of the keeper of the Book of Parallax. Lisa is probably, next to Sinestro, she's sort of probably one of the most powerful Sinestro Corps members, and Jessica Cruz ultimately incapacitates her or holds her own, primarily because, unbeknownst to Jessica Cruz, she seems to have some connection to a Sinestro power battery, and that's because of her ability to now inflict fear. So she went from being a very fearful woman to having a lot of willpower to being able to inflict fear herself. It's an awesome story, one of the best Green Lantern stories I've read all year, and I gotta give full props to writer Ryan Caddy and the artist Sam Basri did a really good job on that story. Now, with respect to the other stories in this title, I basically ignored them. Writer Jeffrey Thorne wrote The Last Lanterns with artist Mike Antier. It was okay. The art was I really liked the art, but Jeffrey Thorne's writing, it was very sub. I thought it was a little bit subpar, derivative. The Guy Gardner story was typical Guy Gardner. Ernie Altbacher did a good job. Uh, Lobo was in it. I thought it was well done. And Clayton Henry is the artist. Did a good job as well. Typical Guy Gardner. It was a fun read. Overall, what made this issue work for me was Jessica Cruz, and in my view, it's probably a little pricey at $5.99, but I like it for Jessica Cruz. The I'm a little concerned. I wasn't really impressed with the story by Jeffrey Thorne, and he's the guy who says he hates Hal Jordan, and I don't care if he hates Hal Jordan. Although, why would you say that if you did? I don't know. I got mixed feelings about it, but Jessica Cruz story saved it for me. Now, moving on, the Superman Wonder Woman story. This one was a little bit more interesting. This one focused on it didn't really focus a lot on the relationship between Yara Flor and John Kent. It actually focused on two gods, a sun god and a moon god, and then there was an old Superman villain from an old DC event called DC 1 million, called Solaris, which is kind of a sun machine or a sun absorbing villain, and he ends up fighting one of these Latin American sun gods that happens to live with a Latin American moon god of all things, and Yara Flor has a relationship with them. They're her friends, and they seem to be living somewhere in Latin America. It's rather odd. Not really understanding it, but it's entertaining enough. The issue opens up with Yara Flor dealing with corrupt politicians, and she wants them to, not misspend money and misappropriate money. In any event, it was decent enough. Dan Waters is the writer. Leila DeLuca is the artist. DeLuca's art was very hit and miss for the most part. It seemed to really screw up John Kent. John Kent was not particularly well drawn throughout. There was a lot of hits and misses on the art. At one point, because there's two suns involved, there's the two literal suns. One is Solaris, and then one is the sun god, this Latin American sun god, and they're battling each other. So there's two suns in the sky, and it's having an impact on John Kent's powers. And in some panels he looks skinny, others he looks sort of bloated, and I don't think that was intended. His facial expression seemed to be off. In any event, what's and we never really learned much more about the relationship between Yara and John. I always get the impression that John is an idiot. There was that old joke I remember reading Super Sons. Old Damien would always joke with John about John being kind of dumb, and Damien was smarter than John, but we always knew that young John Kent was actually quite intelligent, but he was just less narcissistic than Damien. But the impression I'm getting of John Kent in Future State is that he's genuinely a stupid Superman. He's really dumb. He made a huge mistake in Superman Metropolis when he shrunk Metropolis. That was stupid. And he doesn't seem particularly bright here for some reason. Now, it doesn't really, I'm not getting a very strong impression that I don't really understand why he does what he does. Also, what's his secret identity? Does he have one? And if he doesn't have a secret identity, if John Kent does not have a secret identity, and the whole world knows he's John Kent, and I think they know that because of the reveal in Superman, Clark Kent revealed he's Superman, then why does John Kent bother wearing pants and a shirt, and it's almost like he's Clark Kent changing into Superman? Why? If everyone knows who you are, why do you even bother wearing normal clothes? Just always wear your outfit. I don't really get it. I don't know this. There's a lot about this Future State that's a little frustrating. It would be nice to have, maybe if there was some sort of template or even a main series that explained the setting here, because as much as I can get into some of these stories, it does seem like I'm not really sure. They're sort of like splattered all over a various timeline. It's a little bit off. But in any event, the visuals here are okay. The sun god looks a little weird, but it's decent enough for a story. I didn't mind it. Getting into Justice League, the Justice League title. This is written by Joshua Williamson with artist Robson Roca. This was actually uh, was a little bit better. I'm not a huge fan of Joshua Williamson's character. I think he doesn't do very good character work for DC. I'm on record for not liking his Flash run very much at all because there was no character development of Barry Allen throughout the entire series, and he's not very good at character work on DC superheroes. And so it's kind of ironic that here he is writing Justice League, where the premise of this new future Justice League, is that they're not supposed to know each other's secret identities because in the past, apparently something happened in the past where because they all knew each other's secret identities, they ended up secrets were leaked, and it almost destroyed the Justice League. And so therefore the Justice League has come out with new mandates to basically say, okay, nobody knows anyone other's secret identity. But it doesn't really work. But I don't like that idea as a story concept. I just don't like it. But I will give Joshua Williamson credit here because what he's done is what he's written is that there are nonetheless relationships that are developing in between Andy, who is the I guess Aqua Woman, and Jesse, who is the non-binary Flash. I'm not sure if they have an intimate relationship, but they are in a relationship. Yara and Yara Flor, Wonder Woman, along with John Kent, they know each other's secret identities. So you got to wonder if people really are really keeping the secrets anyway. Batman, we still don't know who this Batman is, although presumably it's Tim Fox. We there seems to be a push by John Kent to want to expand the Justice League roster. Meanwhile, the new Legion of Doom is immediately killed by another group that ultimately is revealed by the end of the issue to be the Hyper Clan. Now, what's extraordinary about this is that I really like actually the Legion of Doom. It looks awful. This poor guy looks absolutely awful. I'm not even sure. Is this supposed to be Luthor? I'm not sure who this is supposed to be. But in any event, you got Despera, Mazex, Cobalt Blue. Wasn't Cobalt Blue? Wasn't he the twin of Barry Allen at some point? I don't know. The Screech Owl, the Flood, the Ultraviolet Lantern. Anyways, these they're all ultimately wiped out. And meanwhile, the rest of the league here, they're John and Yara, they have a relationship, but the rest of the league, they don't seem to be very close. And I really don't like the whole point of having a team is to have a team dynamic. I don't know how you can have a team dynamic if none of the team is really going to get to know each other, or have a policy that says you can't really get to know each other's secret identities. That would feel more like a job rather than a team, and I don't think it would work well for an ongoing series. However, and the irony is that even though they have those rules, well, clearly Yara and John know each other. Clearly, Andy, Aqua Woman, is having a relationship of some kind with Jesse, the Flash. So I don't know how much is really working here. And Batman, whoever he is, Tim Fox, doesn't seem to care about getting along with any of them anyway. So the whole scene seems a little bit off. And in any event, I do like Joshua Williamson. I actually think there's actually more Joshua Williamson attempt at a characterization in this issue than he's ever done before at DC, as far as I'm concerned. I'm actually pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed this. The new Green Lantern, this Jo, I love her attitude. She's kick-ass. She's smart. She forensically examines the crime scene where the Legion of Doom were essentially killed. And she right away knows that when she's confronted with this fake Superman later on, she knows right away it's not actually Superman. And ultimately, when she confronts this fake Superman, it is revealed that they are, of course, the Hyper Clan. And the last time we saw the Hyper Clan was in the pages of, I believe it was Grant Morrison's Justice League way back in the day. But some of you guys that are more keen on it, you can let me know if I'm wrong about that. But in any event, I like it. I'm interested to see what's going to happen in the second issue. Now, Future State Week with Robert Eternal. This one, the art here by Eddie Burrows, I really liked. Robin Eternal, I thought was excellent. Writer is Megan Fitzmartin. Megan Fitzmartin is obviously a fan of Stephanie Brown and obviously a fan of Tim Drake, and it shows. She knows these characters, she loves these characters, and Eddie Burrows, I think, really loves these. He loves to draw these characters, and it shows. I just love this issue all around. I thought it worked well. I thought it really sort of read alongside The Dark Detective, which we'll get to in a bit. It reads very well. Clearly, we're in the future where there's a magistrate is in control of Gotham. He's got the magistrate has his protectors going around Gotham, taking out all masked vigilantes, and Tim Drake along ultimately recruits Stephanie Brown here, and his goal is ultimately to take out some of the to intercept a shipment of a drug of some kind that can enhance some of the powers of the protectors of the magistrate, as I understand it, and it's just very well done. The visuals here are just gorgeous, and ultimately it's called Robin Eternal, and surprise, surprise, he ends up getting drowned in this shipment of this liquid of this serum that he was trying to prevent the magistrate from getting, and I believe it causes him to become immortal, hence the title Robin Eternal. And again, it's really whet my appetite in terms of what's going to come next. And Eddie Burrows, man, thank you so much for your gorgeous art. It's great stuff here. I'm enjoying it. Next up is Kara-Zor-el Superwoman, in an issue called Two Graves. I got to say that writer Margaret Benet is someone who I met her, and I was fortunate enough to meet her at the New York City Comic Con in 2019. Wonderful woman. She even tweeted. In fact, the first comic book my daughter Audrey ever looked at was a DC bombshells, and I tweeted it out, and she liked it. And I've always had a nice little place in my heart for Margaret Bennett. She's a wonderful person, very personable, and the writing here was I thought the writing was it was good. It was adequate. My issues with it is, and I don't even think this is Margaret Benet's fault, to be honest, is I just don't like the way that Superwoman is characterized here. I don't believe Superwoman would ever leave Earth to have a base on the moon to take care of exiles from Earth, because I don't think nobody would allow people on Earth to be exiled or to leave Earth to go on a moon base. The whole premise seems ridiculous to me, and I don't think that premise is the writer's fault. Now, in terms of the art, Marguerite Savage is the art here is beautiful. There's something very I mean, it's almost like water painted, like, and it's very beautiful art visually. Emotionally, on some of the faces, the emotions are not conveyed particularly well, but the art really is. It's hard not to be impressed with this art. It's captivating, and it's impressive. It visually, it's just it's wonderful to page through. I like how the colors as well are sort of subdued, and but they yet at the same time they're it just sort of like pops off the page. Now, who does the? I'm not sure. Oh, the colors. It's Marguerite Savage. Maybe she does her own colors as well. And in any event, I gotta say I'm impressed. And even Wes Abbott, I gotta give a shout out to the letters, because I overall visually I really liked it. The story, though, I can't get behind this angry, upset Superwoman. Where are the Danvers? This She seems to be closer to her dead dog Crypto than she was to her own family. Where are the Danvers? How come they're not in this story? There's so many blanks here that need to be filled in from Future State, and because it's only 2 issues long, this is the first issue. I don't know if we're ever going to get those answers, but despite that, it's it's a nice distraction, and I'm enjoying it for the most part. But I do have some criticisms of the story itself. But we'll see where it takes us. But again, visually, it's a beautiful comic. Now this gets us into Dark Detective. Dark Detective. This is written by Marika Tamaki. Art by Dan Mora. The art is fantastic. Marika Tamaki, surprise, surprise. I actually like this. Actually impressed. Even though really virtually nothing happens, this whole issue is just Batman running around or Bruce Wayne running around. People are thinking he's dead. Bruce Wayne was somehow the magistrate who is in control of Gotham, and we don't know who the magistrate is. We don't know who the protector number one is, although the jury's out. Is it Jason Todd? Is it Damian? Who is it? We're not sure. But it's interesting that Bruce Wayne is on the run. He's but then that's it. He's on the run. He's shot, and at the end, that's really where it ends us. I think what impresses me most about this issue is I really get the sense. I got the sense of the emotion of Bruce Wayne. It's very visceral. You could really see. I mean, even the setting here of the city, it's just gorgeous. Dan Mora does a fantastic job. He really does a good job setting the tone and the mood and the ambiance and the the future of Gotham City, and it's just very impressive. And Marika Tamaki, again, I think she did a really good job here. I'm definitely going to be on board to see where it goes. Not a fan of her Wonder Woman, but this was demonstrably different. And I thought just overall very well done. And I got the sense that Bruce Wayne is lost. He's isolated. He's alone. He's broke. He's got no money. He's eating in diners. He's technological forces are against him. The magistrate are against him, and he's got nothing. He doesn't even have so much as a cell phone. And the guy is desperate, and you really get a sense of that. So well done, Mariko Tamaki. And again, the visuals here are just really well done. Now we get into Teen Titans Ruins. Wow, you know, this is probably one of my biggest disappointments of Future State. Of all the Future State titles from week 1 and week 2, Teen Titans, this is by far, in my view, one of the worst put together so far. This was extremely disappointing. This is a convoluted mess. There are so many questions that I have on this particular one. This is supposed to be in terms of spec. This is the Red X is supposed to appear. The Red X, and the Red X does, but who cares? Like, we have no idea who Red X is. We have no idea. The ideas in here are interesting, but everyone in this comic book is talking cryptically. Nobody's giving any answers. There's not a single character that asks the questions that the readers are asking, saying, what's going on, for example. Literally. In the second page, Emiko is talking to Dick Grayson, and she accuses him of being very Nightwingy, and for some reason he doesn't want to be called Nightwing. Why? Why don't you want to be called Nightwing? That's your name. If he's got another name, what is it? Is he just Dick? I just don't get it. Plus, the Teen Titans Tower was destroyed. How was it destroyed? Donna Troy is dead. A whole slew of people are dead. How did they die? None of this is mentioned. Who is the villain? Who's the bad guy? It's really very, very frustrating, to say the very least. There's hints of a Titans Academy, but we don't really know who any of the members of the Academy are. And because we have no answers, I mean, not even hints of an answer, I don't even care about the Academy. If this is what the future of Teen Titans is, why on earth would I want to read a new Teen Titans series in March when I know this is where we're headed? Like, this is not a compliment. I mean this in all a bad way. And this is not Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson doesn't act like this. This is not something where you can expect to drop me in and expect me to be interested in knowing how we got here. I just think this is garbage. I hate this right out of the gate. I just don't like it. The art by Raphael Sandoval, is fantastic. The art, but it's just wasted on a horrible story. And man, I gotta say that writer Tim Sheridan, I understand that he's done some cartoon work. He's done Reign of the Superman, and he's maybe done some Scooby-Doo work for cartoons. But boy, he's really got to work on his pacing, man, because this whole thing, there's at least probably 5 or 6 plot points that should not even have been in this issue at all. You've got to pace yourself. You only had 2 issues here. So what are you doing trying to cram all this crap into one comic? Very badly done, very confusing. I challenge anybody to figure out what's going on. This is just a mess. And jumping from character to after character. I don't know. They're fighting things. What's going on? Who are they fighting? uh, what are we supposed to be looking at? And then we have these members, graduates from the Titans Academy who will probably at some point meet, but we got names thrown out, but we don't know who they are. Chupacabra, Johnny Tubular, or Totally Tubular, Gorilla Greg. Uh, this is exactly how you do not create interest in something like Titans Academy. Look, when you have Marvel had Strange Academy, which was fantastic. It had one issue introducing all these new characters. To think that this is our first exposure to Titans Academy is this garbage issue. This is atrocious. This is, again, an example of just horrible editorial oversight. DC, man, what were you thinking? If you can't do it right, don't do it all. And please, for the love of God, with Teen Titans, quit trying to duplicate the Judas contract. Quit trying to do X-Men Days of Future Past, okay? It doesn't work. Just let first develop, have characters, let the characters move the story. Don't force, this is a plot, this is forcing a ridiculous plot that we don't even know what the plot is, but yet we know the plot's forcing the characters to do something, and we don't even know what the plot is to even follow along in that regard. So it's an epic failure on 2 levels, not just one. Man, but in any event, it is what it is. And of course, we got Dick Stroke at the end. Dick Grayson doesn't want to be called Nightwing, and so he ends up, whatever, teaming up with Red X. By the way, we've not seen Red X before. He's never existed in the DC universe. He was in Teen Titans Go, which is an out of continuity, and he was on the show, the Teen Titans cartoon, at one point, and he was when Nightwing himself used to dressed up at Red X to essentially befriend Deathstroke in the past. But in any event, now he's this character. He doesn't have a name, so credit to Chase and credit to maybe some other people on Twitter are calling him Dick Stroke, and he should. He's a dick. This is what Dick Stroke looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Dick Stroke. How do you like it, huh? I hope you like it, because that is where we are at, Dick Stroke. And that basically covers my summary of Future State Week 2. Guys, tell me what you think. I don't know. Overall, I'd give this a solid 7 out of 10. I'm happy with it. Again, I'm disappointed with Teen Titans, but at least we got Dick Stroke, so I got entertained. Okay, so I can chuckle at it, and shout out to Chase at Comic Source to coming up with that. And anyways, guys, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of Dick Stroke. And tell me what you think. What's your favorite title for Future State Week 2? And until next time, guys, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at Metropolis40. And until next time, Comic Boom, out.